So in our back to basics 4-day split, we've reached the glory day. Arms. Everyone loves arms. Why? Because, well, you get done from here, everyone knows you did them. Biceps are pumped, triceps are nice and full. Let's get into it, guys. Now, don't get caught in the squat rack doing curls if it's a busy day in the gym. But if you can do it, I love getting into it here. Why? Because this long 45-pound bar causes you to engage so much more bicep for stability's sake. So what you're doing is actually growing the bicep even more because you're using such a long bar. 45 pounds may be too heavy for some, so start with the prefix smaller bar if you have to. But if you can start with the 45 and work your way up, beautiful. So an unnaturally wide position is just a bad setup because you're staging elbow issues later on. I like to know that I'm grabbing onto the bar where my hands naturally rest on my side, just flipping them forward, which is gonna be right here, typically, where the diamond grate begins. So I'm going to be progressing myself with every set, but please be mindful of the fact that your biceps are not major powerful muscles. They can also come attached, or excuse me, come unattached. So don't open up set one way too heavy. Work your way incrementally up, maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds each time. Just don't get out there cold turkey, going wide open. If that bicep comes loose, it's not gonna get reattached. It's gonna look different forever. Definitely gonna be unsymmetrical right to left. Still staying in step with biceps, bicep, bicep, bicep. I'm going into a seated bicep curl using the dumbbells. Make sure when you're choosing your weight, you choose it according to your weaker side. My weaker side is technically my left side, so I make sure I have a weight choice that my left side can complete to the full amount of reps. In this instance here, I'm trying to go 12 to 15 reps. So let's get it going this way. Another little thing here, when you're in a seated position, you can really tax those biceps something serious. Reason being is when you're standing, you can find yourself with a natural sway. If you're sitting down, it's pretty strict. So let's sit down, thus allowing you to use lighter weight, which will translate into, well, a little more safety, but also a little more focus on just that bicep. As you begin to get fatigued and tired, you don't have to keep going with both arms. You can go into an alternation, left arm, right arm, left arm, right arm. I'm pretty fresh though, so let's open up with both arms together. As I said earlier though, as you're going, if you become fatigued, go ahead and go into a single or alternation, left to right. Ultimately though, you're still trying to catch at 12 to 15 rep range. Third bicep motion for today's workout, concentration hammer curl. I want you to really make sure you pin that elbow to the inside of your thigh. Don't let this thigh sway back and forth. That's just gonna help you to leverage and cheat the bicep curl up. The whole concept here is to stay in a hammering position, coming up through the front half here, but getting a good contraction the whole range of motion, okay? Let's go for that one. We'll go right arm, then left arm. Or start with your left arm, then right. It doesn't really matter. Seated concentration curl. A lot of your tricep developmental work, the foundational things, will be based out of the actual cables. The biggest thing here is to understand that tricep is just that tri-3. So your hand position is gonna have to change to shift the emphasis throughout the full tricep. The whole goal though is to create more of a 3D horseshoe effect to the back of your arm, which means the longer head is definitely there, but it's also going to complete itself by the inner portions being just as prominent, or at least close to it. A horseshoe appearance to the back of the arm. Ladies, if you're really trying to get that to develop as well, and you're worried about flabby underarms, the more taut the back of that arm is because you've developed your triceps and lowered the fat levels, the better it's gonna look as well. So in general, you guys know, triceps are definitely key to your overall arm presentation. V-bar to start off. You may find that some like to come very high with this start position and then come to the very bottom of it. I still come to about a 90-degree bend before I come back down. Either position is perfectly fine. There is added range of motion by coming this high, but it sometimes puts additional stress on that elbow that you might not necessarily want there. Preservation of my skeletal system is the biggest thing here. Continuing this tricep onslaught, I'm going into a supine or supinated grip with the single arm pull down. There's a lot of debate over if having a supine versus pronated position really matters. I'm a very classic old school bodybuilder. I can't speak to kinesiology saying that it's not going to be equally as effective, but I can speak to the fact that we've always relied upon it and felt differences in using it. So to make sure I can complete the full horseshoe effect of, I said horse, full horseshoe effect of my tricep, I'm gonna grab an underhand or supine position and come down with it. Definitely feeling a lot of that medial head on the tricep in this position. If you like it or not, experiment with it. Just know that the classics and the greats, to include the gym gods, include supine. Last, but definitely not least, is gonna be an overhead extension using this rope. I did fundamentally develop a lot of my tricep growth through positions like skull crushers, and then when my elbows got bad, no look skull crushers, but it still taxed the heck out of my elbows. So you can definitely get into a skull crusher position, lying on your back, or even a no look skull crush position. But if you're kind of fearful of those elbows going sour on you a lot faster than usual, or if your elbows are already pretty bad like mine are, the overhead extension using the rope is a definite good way to go. Added angle for more growth of that tricep. Don't forget, it's tri, 3. One added tip about this overhead extension, as you come forward, don't allow your fists or these balls to touch. Leave them apart from each other. So the beginning and the end, keep them separate. The 4-day training split has come to an end. We culminated it all with arms, biceps and triceps. Now with that pump, go show it off. Head to the grocery store. Go show your spouse. Go show your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Thanks you guys for watching. There's even more coming up. Stay tuned.